Hello, I'm Luke and welcome back to Reversing the Dirty Bulk, the series in which I try and trim as much fat from my dirty bulk as I can while keeping as much muscle as possible. This video is actually going to be week 2 and 3 rolled into one. Initially it had been week 2, it was a very good video. I had an amazing wee bait and switch in there, but it got deleted, so I'm having to do this all again and just combine it into week 3. Yeah, honestly, I don't really even remember what I got up to, so I'm just going to need to overview that and try and give you guys something for this week. So what I actually covered in the second week. In week 2, I actually ended up putting weight on. Now, this is obviously quite disconcerting, especially when you have been trying your absolute hardest on a cut. But as you know, and as you should know as a Coach Fitness subscriber, if you're not, you need to get subscribed. But as a Coach Fitness subscriber, you should know that when you gain weight on a cut, it's not always necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you just put on a bit of water weight. Sometimes it can be anything. It could even be from taking control of your protein levels, putting your protein up, maybe you put on a bit of muscle. It genuinely can be anything, so scale weight fluctuates. So I did put it on weight that second week, which was really bad, and I had this amazing bait and switch where I was like, oh, it's so over, I've gained weight on the bulk, and then I hit them with the info, but it actually is so over because I lost that video. So yeah, just having to start from scratch now, and just see what we can get here. And with the third week, that was very much realised because I actually got down to 70 kilos. So I went down, I went up, and I went down even further. So it's all about that kind of macroscopic approach. You don't take it weigh in by weigh in. If you're in a calorie deficit, you are guaranteed to lose weight. You always need to remember that. So don't be discouraged. Don't give up thinking that it doesn't work for you or that you've put all the weight back on if the scale shows a result that you didn't want. Chances are it's just that kind of ebb and flow. The body's always fluctuating in weight, but the whole thing is to look at the bigger picture and seeing if the weight is trending down the way. So week 2 was the week where I used the alternate split. So the way that this program is set up is that there are 3 days a week that you work out, and I actually have different routines for each of those 3 days. However, I also contrast that with a kind of week 1, week 2 structure where I flip some of the variations around. So for instance, in my week 1 I use all my conventional lifts, squat, bench, deadlift, whereas for instance in my week 2 I'll use a variation that helps work on a weakness within the exercise. So for instance, in my week 2 I use dumbbell bench press. I use, instead of squats, I use front squats. Instead of deadlifts, I use snatch grip deadlifts because they create a greater emphasis on not only the lats but also have a bit of emphasis on the hamstrings by being in a kind of artificial deficit by taking your hands that little bit wider. So each one of those exercises kind of feeds into a weakness that might be missed. It's also really good because it helps me kind of clear out and give a little bit of novelty to the routine. I'm not doing the same stuff over and over again. I can find that really boring. But when I use this kind of 1-2 structure, it just means that it keeps it fresh, it keeps it good, but it's not so wildly different that I backslide in my progress. Each lift is close enough to its conventional relative that it has a significant carryover and you won't come back to week 1 after a week 2 being any weaker. Good, so meals were on track. I think ate very well. I think I probably got that little bit of over correction, especially in week 3, where I tried a little bit harder to make sure that the scale went down. I think I was just a bit more strict about what I was eating, and it's obviously it's paid off in the results. But something I want to bring up is you can see even from week 1 to week 2, and kind of comparing all the pictures, you can actually see the week that I put weight on, I actually looked a lower body fat percentage. So that's another thing that you shouldn't worry about too much when the weight does go up on the scale, because sometimes you actually could be losing body fat while scale weight increases. Yeah, I really enjoyed the variation of the week 2. It just kind of helped to clear out that kind of dread that I had felt with all the 5 sets of 10 in my initial week. It was just a bit easier, it was a bit more relaxed, but it was a bit more of a different feeling doing the 12 to 15 rep range. I've not done 15 reps or something in a long time, if ever, actually. I think I've always been somebody that's stayed between maybe 1 and 12 reps. I don't think I've ever went above 12 reps. So that was unique. That was a unique feeling, and I definitely am kind of getting used to that. And the kind of benefit of that, I find, is that the pump is way better. Just getting that kind of metabolic fatigue, getting a bit more stress on the muscle. It's nice, it's different, and it really does pack in a bit of novelty, keeping it nice and fresh. In week 3, I came back to my initial routine, and I found that it felt a lot better. Okay, so we're in the gym. As you can see from week 1 and 2, I have done the 5 sets of 10 workout, and then the 3 sets of 12 to 15 workout. Today we're doing the 4 sets of 10, and with the 4 sets of 10 we obviously have to have the weight go up. Now the weight is only going to go up around about 5%, so it's a small increase, but this is going to compound over the process as we train, and by the end of it we'll obviously have increased the kind of overall tonnage by quite a bit. So we're going to see how we get on today. Today I've got the work boots on. At first I was just wearing these down before I get changed into my actual gym shoes, but I'm actually tempted for a full workout in my work boots. When I done my squats last time, it was pretty pathetic. I tried for 90 for my first set because that's probably what I should do. On average I squat about 130 for like a set of 5, but this just showed how little work capacity I have, because when I jumped down to 90 for my 5 sets of 10, I got 7 and I absolutely collapsed. I took the weight down again, and I ended up just doing 60 on my remaining sets, and I was gassed. It wasn't really my legs were fine, it's just I couldn't breathe. So hopefully my cardio's got a little bit better, and when I do this week I can maybe go up further than what I've predicted, because of that work capacity factor. So hopefully today's a lot easier, we'll see. The weight had went up. Obviously I dropped a set. It was 4 sets of 10 this week, but heavier. And to be honest with you, especially with the squat, I obviously got humbled in the first week with the squat. That was just not the case when it came to week 3. Just repeating my initial week, but a little bit heavier and a little bit lower volume. I think it was just maybe that lack of conditioning, and I think I've very quickly picked that conditioning up now, which is really nice to see. It's good to be fitter, it's good to be able to display your strength. It was really bad when I was doing my 5 sets of 10 and it just was looking and feeling like garbage. Whereas now I can kind of get through the end of that workout and feel pretty confident, and that means I think as well the weights can definitely go up on my squat. I think it was just the cardio factor. As you can see, nutrition was fairly standard for the week. It was good to kind of mix up some of the meals that we were having, and yeah, it was really enjoyable. I didn't find it any harder. Just as I've spoken about previously, I'm not getting overwhelming hunger cues. I feel full at the end of each day, and obviously the weight is continuing to come off. So by the nutrition side's going really well. Like, I don't feel like I'm sacrificing by being on a cut. I don't feel like I'm sacrificing by being on a diet. It's just kind of making smarter choices over time and seeing that all compound and the results of that come forth. So that was week 2 and 3. Obviously this isn't the usual quality of video that you're set to receive on this series. Obviously if you look back at my introduction video and also at my week 1, it was a lot better. I was really excited for week 2 because I had taken a lot of time on it and it was looking good. But obviously, you can't control these things. Sometimes stuff like that just happens. So yeah, it's just about keeping on with the series. This was just so that you guys had some information. I will promise that week 4 we'll have a lot better content and we will be back on track with some well put together videos. And also, if you're one of the people that have checked in more for things like my program reviews, trying supplements, I do still have those videos on the way. I'm working on a couple of those at the moment, so don't worry, it's not just going to be these vlogs. We are going to be on the kind of informative content too. Let me know what you would like to see, be that in this series or just some suggestions down in the comments about programs that I can review, maybe supplements that you want to see me take, or fitness challenges that you would like to see my opinion on, or maybe see me take part in. If you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time I update the series.